Again, my name's Sean. Just jump in tonight's webinar. So tonight we're going to be covering just a little bit of an overview of the mockups, the quick products, the templates, then how to customize, bring in your own objects, and then we're actually going to go into customizing the templates a little bit too tonight. So one thing you guys will probably notice right away is up top here you'll see the 5.7. So that should be under your downloads as of now. So if you haven't updated, I don't know if they officially announced it on Facebook or anything yet, but it should be available in the downloads. And then that's gonna open up, or the new tab on the Magic tab. You'll have the stone knockout with contour on the inside now. So you can set that inside contour, make your designs look a lot neater, a lot more detail in them. And then we've added some extra kind of folders over here on our live template section. So pretty much you'll have the change artwork that will still change out your soccer ball by hitting change artwork. Now we have an import artwork. So if you're working, or if you already have like a lot of designs saved in different areas, now we can just import directly. So we can just select that. You can still set it to any folder that you want to pull from, or you can just set it to your desktop or your documents. And that way, if you save all your like other designs somewhere else, you can go ahead and hit import artwork, and wherever you save that folder to, it'll import from there. Same with my artwork, just another folder that you can pull from. Now this can be, other artwork from other companies or stuff you've already created. Instead of moving it all into our kind of folders, you can move it or save it to whatever folder you want, and now use these other folders to quickly access all your different files. All right. So I know we got some familiar faces and some new too. So just to get like a feel for everyone, have you guys used, I know a lot of you have, but for some of the new people, have you guys gone through or ran through the mock-up section yet? A little bit more of the basic, gotcha. Yeah, so we'll go over the quick products, some of the different templates, everything like that. Oh, awesome. So we definitely got some new people too. So we'll definitely start with the quick products, go into the templates, customizing our kind of mock-up layouts, and then bring in custom items too. So at any point, if you guys have any questions or need to see anything again, just let me know. And as I see those come in, I'll answer as many questions as possible. So the first thing we're going to go over is just our quick product. So over here on the mockup tab, we changed anyone coming from the 4.0, it's going to have a totally different layout. So this quick product actually kind of goes back to, it might even be the 3 or the 2.0, where all you have to do now is select the mockup you want. So let's say we have our design right here. Let's just put this on a basic men's t-shirt. So I'm going to select folders, men's, and we'll go down to men's t-shirt front. You'll see a preview here. So same mockups that were already preloaded into the software. So this is just the basic Gildan tee pretty much. So we have our men's t-shirt front. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my design. Now I can still, if I had rhinestones in this, I could still simulate stones or add my watermark by just checking these. Once I do that, you just select the item right here, left click, and it's going to throw that right on a color changing t-shirt for us. So whatever item we select, it's going to throw it right on our t-shirt. We can then select the item that's on top of here and still make this larger or smaller if needed to. So one thing with our color changing t-shirts, and it really helps on some of the other design, or depending on what t-shirt we're using. I'll throw this on a burnout next just so we can really see it. But if you change the color to black, sometimes what it's you can see how dark the t-shirt just got now. So when this is just a white t-shirt, it has the nice detail in it where you can see all the, it makes it look like a real t-shirt. When I throw it on a black t-shirt, or when I change it to black, it just looks like a solid black t-shirt. It doesn't have a lot of detail in it. Yeah, Bill, that's one of the first things. So to change that, we're just gonna pick like a contrasting color. So white, if we're using black, we can use white or just like a gray, and we're gonna right click that color. So I'm gonna right click my white, and now you'll see how it adds the detail in our black t-shirt. So if I selected right click this gray, so the gray's not as good, maybe a little bit lighter of a gray will look okay. So I use the ones over here. Those ones look a little bit better. Kind of the darker grays look better. And then again, the white looks pretty good too. So you can just right click the white and you'll see the detail in the shirt just like that. Hey Jerry, welcome. So let's go ahead and do the same design on a burnout. You guys can really see it on that one too. So that's going to be under women's, and we're going to select the burnout front. So on this one, you'll see the burnout style, so it captured that in the mock-up. Again, if I just switch this to white, or sorry, if I switch this to black, it loses all the detail in this shirt and just pretty much looks like a flat t-shirt. So we're going to select it, right-click the white, and now you'll see the detail of the burnout shirt. So when you're working with these different styles, if you want a dark shirt, just right click a lighter color, and just the opposite. So if you're working with white, so now if I go back to white, you'll notice how it's almost just a white t-shirt. So if I throw a black background, because I right clicked the white and then left clicked it, it just looks like a solid white t-shirt. So to get the detail back, if it's a white t-shirt, now I have to right click the black, and that gets our detail back. So if you right click a dark color and then you go back to another dark color, it's not going to look that good. So if you use a dark color, right click a white, and then you'll see the burnout look a little bit better. All right, so any questions on our quick products? So usually with the quick products, it's more of just like a quick, easy proof. It doesn't have a lot of detail. You can use your watermark, and then they're great website images. That way you're protecting it with your watermark. Or they're just a way to quickly send your customer a proof without going through like the whole order form in case they want to change it or something like that. So this is kind of like the first step, or a great way just to list stuff on your website if you have anything like that. And then the next step would be our templates. So these are going to create the custom order forms for your client using the same mock-up features here. I have a trouble tracing white products. Jerry, is that using the auto trace? No manual? Okay. I'll look into, I can maybe pull a white design in and see. If you know an example that you're having trouble with, just let me know and I'll try to pull that in as well. All right, so under our templates, we have some preloaded templates for you. So you're able to just go through here and pick, don't mind the backup of order forms and stuff. I was messing around earlier. So yours is just going to say mock-up product 1 all the way down to order form for products in your proof sheet 1. So with a design like this, what we're able to do is, let's say, or with these different templates, let's say we have a design where we have our men's style, then we have the same t-shirt, but we want to add glitter vinyl, so we'll make that black. Make all that red. So now we have our glitter layout. It's reverse layout, but it's all good. So now we're able to show both of our designs on the one custom mockup. So we're going to go to our templates. We're going to select order form 2 products. So we have 2 different designs, our 2 different products we want to show. So we have our men's and our women's t-shirt. So we have, once we select what type of order form we want to create, next we can kind of go through these checks and create, you know, different templates using different options. So our basic template, we'll run through that for just the guy shirt. And so I'll do a one product first. So a basic, we'll add our watermark, and then we can edit our background color if we wanted to here. Usually I just leave that white because we're going to change it to whatever looks best with the t-shirt combination. So I always change that around. So I don't really waste my time with the background color, but you can change that if it's always going to be the same. So with the basic option, we selected logo and watermark. So I'm going to highlight, you don't have to highlight your design yet, but you're just going to hit the launch button. So this is going to be your template right here. That's going to launch it. And it's going to ask us select one product. So we're going to, this is for our men's. Now, if you go to your view and extra large, so if you right click in this area and go to extra large, or you come up top here, this little icon, you can make your designs extra large or large, and that way you can actually see the image of the t-shirt you're pulling in. So we'll just do a basic men's t-shirt front. And then it's going to ask us select design 1. So I highlight this area. You can move around in this area. You can move this box out of the way. So we just want to select our design, hit OK. And now with the basic option, it's going to say no logo found. That's okay. It's just, so I didn't set up my logo and stuff like this on my order form yet. So that's why it said no logo. But what it's going to do is it's not going to ask us the price or anything like that. I'm going to delete that box just for now. So it's just going to pretty much ask us the t-shirt we want and the design we want on the t-shirt. Now after that, we're going to have to come in and change the pricing and everything like that. The background color, again, we would do manually. Now, if we do the same layout, or this time we'll do the 2 product, and we'll do advanced. So with the advanced setting, it's just going to ask us a couple extra questions like the pricing and what product we're using. Like, is it a t-shirt? Is it a decal? Is it a hat? So that way when we create these mock-ups, now if you know it's going to be a shirt, you can pretty much do a basic and you won't have to worry about too much. But like right here, if we threw this on a hat or a different product that didn't have these sizes, then this order form doesn't make as much sense. Like if I do a decal, maybe as small as, you know, if you had dimensions set up for the decals, this would make sense. But otherwise, you know, decal is probably going to be a standard size. So a lot of this wouldn't make sense if we were using different products. So that's where the advanced setting will come in. So just so we can see that too, let's go ahead and do a 1 color design, and we'll throw that on a decal just so you can see the different settings we can use. So now, let's highlight that. So now I'm going to go to order form 3 products, and we're going to select advanced. Hey Myra, welcome. So we'll go ahead and hit the launch. All right, so again, select product 1. Our first one will be a men's basic t-shirt front. Now it's going to ask us select this product type. So we're doing a standard shirt size. Men's t-shirt front. You can name this if you want, like if it's a Nike or Under Armour or special material or special brand, you can change the name here, or just leave it men's t-shirt front, hit OK. We're going to select design 1, OK, and then the price. So this is just a basic men's t-shirt, so we're gonna do 22 bucks for this one. We're gonna hit OK. And now we're on to select product 2. So this one's gonna be our glitter t-shirt. So that's gonna go on our women's shirt. Let's go ahead and hit right click and go to view, extra large. Now I can select the style. Let's go ahead and do the burnout for this one. Standard shirt again. Women's burnout's good. And we're going to select this middle design here. Hit OK. And glitter burnout, we're going to charge $30. Hit OK. And now we're on to select product 3. So this one's going to be our car decal. So I'm going to select TRW, car decal front. And again, you can make these larger just to see them. So we're going to select the front. We're going to select standard decal size, or you can do it by color. So you can choose either one of these. Okay. Let's go ahead and move over. Select our design here. Make it a little bit smaller. Hit OK. And our decal is going to be 10 bucks. Still no logo, that's okay. And now we have our order form. So you guys can actually probably notice this one looks a little bit different. That's because I actually customized this one already. The tumblers are not in the mock-up. Excuse me. I added that myself. So you can see how it has like a gold and blue background. This is one of the things we're going to get into next. And one thing we can look into too is we made our design black. If I just switch this to white, it's going to look a little bit better on that car, and I can still adjust the sizes. But now each one is customized. So you got your 22, 30, 10. These two have our shirt sizes, and these two have our decal sizes. So that way we can customize it for exactly the product we want to add. Remember, we're going to add a product next. So we do have videos on it, but we're going to actually add one today too. All right. So that way, once we're in here, we can select all the white. We can make those black if it makes it stand out. You'll be able to see your watermark, everything like that too. And you'll see up top here, it already has my order deadline. Instead of saying like 2050 or 2070, it's actually on a closer date and everything like that. All right. Yeah, Cindy, no problem. So we asked if we could do something with rhinestones. No problem. So very similar. Let's just say we have our design here. Now, how do we quickly add a row of rhinestones around our design? Or let's do it to our glitter one here. Oh, that's welded, so we'll do it to our design here. So what button do we click to just add a row of rhinestones around our soccer ball now? No one? I'll give you a hint. It's in the magic tab. Should be easy now. There we go. So it's going to be the stone outline. So this button right here, that's going to save us a lot of time. We're just going to select our soccer ball right here, hit stone outline, and it's just going to add a row of rhinestones and crop everything out in its way to add those stones. All right, so that's going to be our one-click button. That's just going to simply add stones around our design. So we'll go ahead and make those crystal. So now we have the same design. If we go back to our mock-ups, we'll go ahead and do an order form, one product. I don't need my logo. I will hit. So this is the only thing when you're working with stones. One, you want to try. You're going to use the colors from our stone palette here. So I turn them all crystal. So I select all the same color. And I just made those crystal. So just so we can see them, we'll make them red, our ruby. And then anytime, if we're using the quick product, we're going to check our simulate stones here. If we have the template, we're going to select simulate stones down here. So it's, you know, if you're doing a quick one, just make sure that's checked. We don't need a watermark. Select the design you're going to use. And by selecting the simulate stones, when you zoom in, it's actually going to make those real stones instead of just the circles. And one little add-on you can use to make like your rhinestone designs pop a little bit more, or to make your customers let them know that indeed they are rhinestones, is to add a little bling. And that's going to be this button right here. So you click add bling, drop a couple bling stars there. Once you're done, just check or click that button again, and then you can make these larger or smaller depending on how you want them to look on your design. Yeah, the bling button's pretty fun. All right. So any questions on the mockup so far? The difference in the templates, the quick product? All right. So next, before we get into customizing some products, let's go ahead and show you how to customize your information. So when you create these order forms, how it pops up the Rhinestone World and our phone number, email, everything like that. You're going to want to customize it for everything for your business. So to do that, you're just going to click this pencil down here where it says the Rhinestone World. Yours would probably default to, it might say default, or I deleted it, so I'm not exactly sure what it says. Yeah, Pillow, I'll go over that, thanks. So it might just say default. So what we want to do is click this pencil, and actually it might say description actually. So just check that or click on that one, and it'll enter all the information where you need it. So just kind of follow the example. So description, I put the Rhinestone World because that's my company information. So you'll just put, I'll change this one to TRW. And next is our watermark text. So watermark text can be whatever you want it to say to kind of protect your design. Some people use their name. Some people use their website, which might be their name. Some people just use the word copyrighted or copyright, or anything you want. So with the watermark, with our designs, because people buy them off of our site, it's nice to have our site information there, because it allows people to see that, if someone goes to Google and downloads this image, it's going to have the Rhinestone World on top of it. Or somehow if it gets out to Google or something like that, that way they're like, oh, the rhinestoneworld.com is where I can find this design, something like that. So all you have to do is just highlight where it says watermark and just retype. So we'll use our website, the rhinestoneworld.com. Transparency should be around 80. That's what it's set to here. If you need it to show up more, you're going to go lower. If you want it to show up less, go higher. Logo path. So you can just select, if you have a design or a logo somewhere on your computer, you just go to that area on your computer, select that logo, and then, so like if it doesn't have to be an image, you probably want it to be, but you can even use, like, let's say I have a vectorized image of my design. This animal is my design, so I'm going to use that there. Jerry, we're going to get into that next. So Jerry asked how we get rid of this information if we don't want it. I'll show you that. That's going to be our next step. So under business name, Same as our watermark, pretty much, the rhinestone world. It's all good. And then web, same as our watermark actually. So we're just gonna copy and paste. So if you want it to be different, feel free. You don't have to. And then any of this information that you have or want to give out, you'll just include that here too. Let's say we don't have a street or a city, that's okay. So once we get done adding everything, we're gonna click add, and now you'll see TRW down here. So we're gonna make sure you hit save after this, or it won't actually save what we just did. Now it's gonna shoot it to the bottom, so if we want this to be at the top of our like the first selection, kind of the default, just click the up arrow until it's at the top, hit save. And now when this opens and I go to Mockup now, you see TRW there. So what Jerry was asking is on some of these mock-ups, you're gonna have all those spots for you. So the company name, the phone number, the email, the website, everything on this page. So if you don't have those and you don't want those to show up as just, it's gonna show up as email or phone number, you know, just the word email. So then you're gonna have to go through and delete those out. So we can actually go into the back end and you can see how these ones, this has this like gold and blue look to it. That's because I customize it to that color scheme too. So you can customize these to look like if your company has certain colors they work with, you can customize these so it's your company's colors and everything too. So to do that, you're gonna click your little folder down here, or you can go to your Documents tab. Either way, this File Explorer usually works pretty well if you just select that folder and then go to Documents. So when we're in there, we're gonna go to the folder TRW Design Wizard. So once we're in the Design Wizard folder, you're gonna have a tab that says Mockups. So we're gonna go ahead and select that. Now, this mockup folder actually has files if you had like the 4 and stuff in it too. So you'll see mockups, products, templates. Notice though your templates. Now if you've started just with the 5.0, you're not gonna probably see all these extra folders in here. Now if you have the 4 or 3 and stuff like that, you're gonna have these folders in here. You'll notice all these folders are probably from when you installed it, so they're gonna have like a 2018 date on them. So we're gonna look for the wizard folder, and it's gonna be 2019. So that's gonna let us know that we pretty much bought the 5 this year, so we're gonna look for 2019. So anything before was most likely with the 4.0. So we're gonna select wizard, and now you'll see products, templates, and thumbnails, all with 2019 on them. And this one has today's date because I modified one today before the webinar. Alright, so we're going to select templates, and you're going to see all your different templates that we have in here. So I'm actually going to delete this backup because I don't need it. And now we can go through these one by one and customize them, or if we're just using one, we can just customize that one, and so on. So we'll do our customize. We'll start with order form 1. So we're just gonna click this, and it's gonna open up into Corel, and at the top you'll see order form 1 product. So if you don't see that at the top, you want to make sure you see that, otherwise you're not really opening the right, it's most likely not the right folder you opened. Or if you import it, it's not going to work the same, because what we're actually doing is saving over this file. So we don't want to like import or anything like that. We want to bring in the actual file. That way it's a quick just save. We're saving right over it. Right. So first thing up top here, order deadline July 5th, 2017. Now, this is something we're going to probably change most of the time anyways, but at least we can get it to 2019. and I can change it to April, and I can say, 30, I think there's 30 days in April 30th, just as the last day of the month. But now if I need to change this, I'm just changing the 30, and then next month I'll just save over it with the next month, and then, go from there. So this is where if you don't have a phone number or you don't want your website address to show up, you just come in here and delete all these out. Same with here, very cool and catchy shirt sales name. If you have a slogan or something you go by or anything like that, you can put here. So you can maybe say, something like that. Same thing with our address and stuff here. So if you don't want that information, just highlight it and delete it out, and that will get rid of our information there. If you want to change any of the text, we can do that too. So I can make that business name a lot larger, and I can make that a totally different text field. All right, so same thing with our colors. Let's say I want to select this gray, select all those, and we'll make it a dark blue. And then our darker gray, we'll make that a lighter gray. Just like that. We'll make that our dark blue too. So we can go around and kind of customize these colors however we want. If that's like our... Now we don't want to change these red, orange, and yellow boxes. That's going to be your logo at the yellow box. So if you do want your logo like somewhere else, you can switch your logo here and then put your order deadline in the middle. If you probably don't really like that layout, but you can switch these around. But the yellow box is your logo, the red one is your design, and then your orange one is going to be your product with the design on it. So all those boxes actually do mean something. So we don't want to just go around and completely change everything. So when we're done, we just hit save. Okay. So let's go back to our design here. Page 1. We got our design. Order form 1 product. We'll just do basic. Men's t-shirt. Oh, sorry, I selected Mockup 1 product. But you can see how it brought in my little logo here this time instead. So let me go to order form 1 product. No, so you don't need to hit save as. You're going to hit save, and it's going to save right over the one that was already there. You don't need it. This is going to be your default, so you're just going to hit save, and it's going to go right over it. So the t-shirts that are in this, so we have t-shirts that are loaded into the software. So like the women's has, there's a lot of options, but it's actually 6 t-shirt styles front and back. So these are all pre-programmed into it. The men's have like 3, the infants have 3, and then there's some other items like drawstring bags, car decals, but you can import your own products too. And we're going to go over that next. All right, so let's go back to our design. We got the order form 1 product this time. Basic. Alright, so now you can see how different my order form looks. So it's not going to have that information here. April 30th, 2009. This mock-up, no, so we have mock-ups on the 4.02. This one, the quick product and the way these are all set up are special for the 5.0. But they're similar, like they're some of the same most of the same t-shirts and items will be the same from the 4 to the 5. It's just a different layout. We try to make the mock-ups a little bit easier to work with in the 5.0. We got my logo now. We got my Rhinestone World. The name looks a little bit different. Designer looks at discount prices. Order form 2019. Order deadline April 30th, and it doesn't have that information that I don't want people to have. Like if I don't have a storefront or anything like that. So that's how we'll go through, and you can see the colors are customized to what I had it saved as. Not that it looks really good or anything the way we saved it. But, and again, we can go back and change the colors to all these too. But, and same with the background. So if we didn't like the way it looked, we can always go back and edit our looks. The font for the Rhinestone World is Medulla 1. I'm pretty sure that's a Google Fonts font. Google Fonts font. So if you go to Google, if you just go to Google Fonts and then Medulla 1, it should be in there. Yeah, no problem. All right, so any questions on customizing the templates or our company's information? All right. So now we're going to get into adding our own. You kind of can create new templates from doing a save as, but I would most likely just want if you're using the same number of products and everything, it would just be easier just to hit a save over save as. And then one other, when we're sending these mock-ups out, when you're sending these to email or something to someone, there's a couple different ways you can kind of save these files. What I would recommend is to always save these as a image file. So PNG, a JPEG, something where they can't access any part of the file you're sending them. So a lot of people will send us PDFs, but if I send this to you as a PDF, these are actually, it's a vectorized file. So I can then, if I'm sending it to my customer as a PDF, if my customer has any knowledge of how design works or file types work, they can break this the PDF and kind of take your design that you've spent time creating. Now they have a download file, and if they have someone else that can do it cheaper, they can say, "Hey, I already have the design created. What's your price on a T-shirt style like this?" So I don't like to export as PDFs and send those off to customers. So what I'll do is export as a PNG or JPEG. So you have those on your export button here, JPEG, PNG, or usually what I'll do is go to File, Export for, and I'll say Web. It's going to pop up format over here. It might default to a GIF, however you want to say it. So just change that to either PNG or JPEG. I tend to do the JPEG because it has, or is it PNG? I think it actually is PNG. That allows us to have the transparency button. So that will have the transparency background if you like that, or you can leave it as a white background, whatever you prefer. Joseph, is there a way to change the workspace color so it's always that color? Are you talking about in the mock-up or? No, we're good. So Jerry, with your question, can we put with the logo? Can you add? So you would just hit save at that point, though. So we had a couple questions come in. So let me start at the top here. So with our logo, they're asking if we could add a little bit of transparency to that. So it's not going to go through the actual like wizard, but down here, I'm using 17. You should have a transparency tool. If you click that, this little window will pop up underneath it. And as you increase it, it will blur out your logo as much, make it softer as much as you want. Joseph, what workspace were you referring to? Sorry, I just missed that. I think that's... Chuck, at the moment, you can't add your own templates. We're going to try to create some videos, and just because there's got to be certain steps you're going to have to follow to do that. So we'll create some videos and get those set up first, and then we'll let you know how to create your own templates too. So if you're trying to change the workspace behind you here, you should be able to do that under customization. I think under appearance, desktop. So you can change that way, and then we should be able to adjust our workspace to document. Yeah. So you would just change, again, under customization, document, if that's the area you're trying to change. Yeah, so that's just going to be document, background, solid, and then you can make it like a lighter or all white. Okay. All right. So Dax, the two in here where it has like the 2 times, if you select, when we did the advanced mockups, if you select the t-shirt settings, let me go back to one of these, where it has the +2 and +3. If you go to, when you're using the mockups, if you use advanced and you select the t-shirt option that I did, it's gonna give you that +2 and +3. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and add a custom product to the software. So that one we're going to go right next to the mockups tab. You'll see mockup creator or M creator. And in this one, we're going to have we have 2 options. So we have our auto boundary tracer and our manual boundary tracer. So when we have a design like this, I took this right from Google. So if I put a background, you'll see this white background that it has already, with the image. So we need to take that background away from it so we can add it into our mockups. So the first thing we want to do is we want to select our design. So I'm going to click on my design, and I'm going to try, we always want to try to do the create auto boundary. So when we do this, now because this is a black objects on a white background, it should work pretty well. And you can see when I kind of bring this trace over, it matches up with the cup almost perfect. And I can click on it and zoom in and really see the areas around it, and it's almost, like I said, it's pretty spot on. The only thing I might want to change is just to raise this up a bit here, so that way it brings in that top color of my mug just a little. And I'm just grabbing the nodes, and that's just adjusting the height of our trace just like that. So now, when we have our design, we now have our trace, and we still have the image behind it. So what we want to do now, if that trace didn't work like it did here, and trust me, there's going to be designs that it doesn't work that well on, that's when we would select the B-spline tool right here, and I would do a manual trace. So I would just use the B-spline, and I would literally trace around our entire design. And we have a few videos going over, you know, that exact whole process. So you can see that if you want like a whole tracing one, we have some tracing videos too. So Sean, how about a mock-up on a football jersey or where the sleeves change colors? So that's not going to necessarily work in the mock-ups like this. So any object, to make it a color changing design, it has to start as an all white object. So I actually have, and I'll show you the effects of it. I brought in a Raglan t-shirt under my men's t-shirts. Oh, this first one. So you'll never be able to, let me just do this real quick just so we can see it. You won't be able to adjust the colors of the sleeves to different colors. So I didn't even make this a color changing t-shirt, but I'll save this and let me finish the first product, and then I'll show you how this would work in the mockup creator too. All right. So we have our design here. We did the auto trace. So our next step, we're gonna select our button. Now, because this is a black mug, I can't, if I hit out color, cut out color change mockup, if I try to change the colors of this, it's not going to work like our preloaded mockups. They're going to just be like really dark blues if I change it to a blue, or if I change it to a white, it's going to look like a dark gray instead. So it just doesn't work the same. So because this is a darker image, or it's not a white, we didn't start it as a white product, we need to just select cut out image mockup. Now, one thing we want to make sure we're doing is if I just highlight my mug, it looks like I have everything I need selected. I don't actually have my mockup selected, so if I hit cut out image mockup, it's just going to give me an error and not work. So you need to highlight outside and make sure you select the entire image. So you can see how big my box is now around my design. That's because I have both images selected. So if you just highlight this small section and you move this around, see how the mug didn't actually come with us? That's because we didn't have the whole image selected. So now I have both, and I'm going to hit cut out image mockup. So just like that, it's going to cut the white around it. If I put it on a black or colored background now, you can see how it's just that black mug instead of that white around it too. So next, we have our add product. So now we want to select the area where we want our product to be added to our mockup. So we're going to select design with, and this is important to know what type of product we're adding it to. So an Arctic cup like this probably only has, 3 to 4 inches wide of display room. So I'm going to select 3.5. Now if I selected 9 inches, then every time I put a design on this, it's going to look really small unless it's a 9-inch design, and then it's going to look normal on here. So we want to make sure we're setting these up correctly. So we're going to select 3.5, and I'm going to hit create design placement. Now this design placement that it creates, even though we're going to make it smaller to fit, this box still represents 3.5 inches. So I'm just making this across the top of my mug here. Once I have that set, we're going to select the folder we want to add it to. So if we don't have one, or if we want to make our own, I can do add new folder, and I could call this cups and mugs. Hit OK. The name, I'm going to do Arctic Black Tumbler. So now I'm going to highlight my design, save custom product. It's going to blink and say it's been saved. So now I'm going to go back to my design. Now, again, if I have my design like this, let's make it gray so we can see it. So I'm going to resize it. Before I do, it's around 6.5 inches. So if I select a design that's too big, gotcha. So if I want to size this, or if I made this 6.5, cups and mugs, Arctic Black, you'll see a little preview. Look how big my design shows up on my mug. Now I can simply highlight this, bring it down, and now it's a little more realistic and looks good on my mug. But I don't want to have to do that every time. So when you're creating these designs, if you size your design to the actual size we want it, so 3.5, 3.85, 3.5, 6.5. There we go. Select our design. Now when we do this, it's going to fit there perfect every time. Don asks, is there a cheat sheet on a good design size for things like coffee mugs, tumblers, etc.? So if you purchase the product, the best thing is just measuring it, like grabbing a measuring tape and just kind of seeing what kind of surface areas you have. The thing is, it's hard to get cheat sheets unless you have a number for each specific item, because an Arctic mug might be larger than the Yeti cups, or the Yeti cups might be larger. So if you get into just a set size and then you start switching products, then they might not line up perfectly. So what you could always do, if there's a product you don't have but you're interested in, check out the crafting page, the Crafting with Rhinestones and HTV on Facebook. That way you can just shoot a message there saying, hey, I'm interested in these products. What's the best sizes that you've ran into and stuff like that. So everyone's really helpful on there. That way, hopefully it saves you, from messing up or cutting something too big or small. Yes. Measure twice, cut once. And that same thing. Same thing with shirts. We don't give out specific for large because if you go by Gildan large and then go to a next level, it's going to be, their larges are completely different. So the exact name, in case you're looking for it, was Crafting with Rhinestones in Vinyl, and it will say hosted by the TRW crew. All right, so thank you. No one helps in that group. So that's how we're going to add our custom products to our designs like this. So we had a good question if you had a t-shirt style, if I can find it. Okay. Like a raglan shirt like we have here. So I already went through the process of cutting this out, so it's going to be a little bit different. But if I hit, let's just start from the beginning. So I'm going to try to do a create auto boundary. So right now with this t-shirt, all it did was recognize the blue, and that's why it trimmed it this way. So the auto boundary doesn't always work the best, but it gave me my trim of the blue. So now what I could do is trim, select my B-spline, I'll click it from here just so we can see how that works. And I'm going to just start it right here. And just go up my t-shirt just like this. And once I get to this point here, I'm actually going to go inside this area, come around, and go inside that area there. Weld the two. So I have my top piece. Oh, actually, I can close that at the end, so it won't matter. So I'm going to just select my half piece there and the half piece there, weld them, and then just close this little area off here. So I'm just going to go and delete my nodes. And now, it wasn't the best, but at least it saved me a little bit of time than having to trace everything. Hey man, yeah, the webinar was 7, just Eastern time. Alright, so now we have our design this way. So if I did a color changing, cutout color changing mock-up, you'll see how it made that second color dull like that. So now when you add the second color like that, when you try to make it a color changing mock-up, this is kind of what you get. So not really the best results. Now what you could possibly do is, let's go back. So we have our blue, or we have our trim here. And what I could actually do is go through and trim just the white. I'm trying this. I'm not exactly sure if it's going to work 100%, but I'm thinking we might be able to make the white on the inside a color changing and then keep the blue. So what I'm going to do is I have this piece here. I'll make it gray just so we can see it. I'm going to move that to the back layer just for a second, and I'm going to select my design, my t-shirt, and my top cutout. So I have this part here at the top. I'll make it purple just so we can see it. So I'm selecting this trace here in my white, and I'm going to do an intersect. So what that does is this little blue piece, it's going to cut that out for me. And I'm just going to make a copy of that. And then my original, I'm just going to delete. So now all I have is this gray here, which I'll make white. And then my original t-shirt. We're going to go cut out color changing mock-up. So hopefully it's just going to leave me with this white section right here. And then I'm going to paste. It's going to bring my blue sleeves right back in. So now at least this could be color changing. Now we'd obviously want to go in here and trim this a lot nicer. I just did it kind of quickly. But we could keep the blue sleeves and then make it, you know, a red t-shirt or something like that. So you could do the kind of opposite. It's not going to look the best. But that's one way to kind of get around your t-shirt like that. just a bit, just to kind of cover up some of that. But yeah, that's the best way to get around it. But you know, if you had, let's say had a collection, or you use these brands a lot, or this style, and you just had 5 different colors, what I would probably do is just take, 15 minutes, bring all those images in, create a whole folder of Raglan t-shirts, and the most used combinations that, I'm going through. So they might use white and red, red and white, just all those different combinations, blue and white, blue and, and then the switch combination of white and blue. So if you just save, the top 10 and just create a whole folder of them, that would probably be the best way to go around and do it. Yeah. So we had a question: can you import products from Sandmar? Yeah, I would definitely recommend, if possible, to get any of your images that you're going to use in this, like as these mock-ups, from like Sandmar, Alpha Broder. If you go through them to purchase your t-shirts, they should have like a little area underneath, underneath the design or the image, or the like product, that says like download specs or download product image. There's a way you can download the images right from Sandmar, and they're like high resolution images, so they look a lot nicer than just going to like Google and trying to get like a really distorted image. So that pretty much wraps up tonight's webinar. Did we have any other questions about the mock-ups? All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Yeah, so I know I'll have another webinar listed for Wednesday night. I know Matt's probably gonna do his like giveaway Wednesday as well. He's probably gonna do a webinar either Wednesday or Thursday too, so just look for those. I don't think he's going. He might go on. He'll probably go on tonight just as a Ask Matt, but not as like the whole giveaway and stuff like that. Other than that, we have the Easter sale, which I believe ends tonight. So if you guys want to get any last minute deals, just check out our website. At the top, you'll see the banner for the Easter sales and all the goodies for that. To get the update for the 5.7, if you go to your purchase and your download, like the download history on the site, find the purchase where you got the wizard and go to the download page. You'll find the newest update right there. New mock-up mini packs. Joseph, I'm not 100%. If Matt goes live tonight with a quick, Ask Matt, I would ask him on that one. Otherwise, I can find out for you. But I'm not sure off the top of my head when those are coming. I tried importing shorts from Sandmar with the shadows. It would not outline. So, Catherine, with that one, you would just use the B-spline tool. Not sure what the topic of Wednesday webinar will be. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. If you guys were struggling with anything, last week's was pretty good with the live templates. So I tried not to do too much of the same. But if we need more help with the live templates, anything like that, just let me know. And then, but I'll definitely have the webinar. We'll both have webinars and everything else posted up by tomorrow. So we have one other question about the watermark. Can you change the color? Yeah, so the watermarks, anytime we're working with watermarks, it's a great question. So we go to one that has a watermark in it. Okay. So you can see how we have on this page, we have a watermark. So if you select, because if I put this on a white background, you don't see the watermark. So we need to edit that. So if you select the box that's attached to it, you'll see these boxes below it pop up. So you're going to select Edit Power Clip. So it's going to look a little, it's a white text, so it's hard to see, but you can kind of faintly see the rhinestone world now. So on top of, this is just actually an image right on top. So if you select a color, it will change the color of your watermark. So I can select blue and just click this X, and then you'll see how the color has changed just like that. So when you select the box, just hover down here, Edit Power Clip. Now you'll be able to see it because it's blue. But when it's like white on white, it's a little bit hard to see. But then you can just change that to pop out or stand out on any design. Alright guys, well you have a great night. Again, the sale ends tonight. Any other questions, give us a call at 941-755-1696 or shoot us an email at info@therhinestoneworld.com. And remember, always ask for Gabe. Alright guys, have a great night.